Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings. We're here. Paul Smith finally caught up with you. Look, busy fight week for you. Zizo on the card, brother Callum in a huge fight against Joshua Buatsi. But look, we're closing in on fight night. Fight night's tomorrow. How are you sort of feeling with sort of managing everything, I suppose, this week?
I'm good. It's not about me. It's nothing to do with us. There's loads of people running around here like headless chickens with a lot more on the plate than what we have or what I have. I've got to obviously make sure Zizo's okay and everything's done for him as a manager. I've got to do my job there, but I'm also here to help Callum and whatever Callum needs to help him and to make sure that it's done for him. Although he's got his other people around him, other family around him to make sure that that's actually done himself. So it's a good kind of busy, but you know yourself what it's like here also in the days. There's absolutely nothing to do sometimes, so it's a lot of downtime, a lot of time to keep people occupied, keep Zizo's mind off things, and make sure Callum's okay. Does he want to go for a walk or a coffee or a bit of food or something if he can and things like that. So that's a typical fight week for fighters.
How was Callum's mindset sort of coming into this fight? He's been on the big stage many times before, been in with the elite. He's only ever come up short to the elite as well. Does he see this fight as a crossroads fight against Buatsi, who sort of never really been at them heights? And what's his sort of confidence levels coming out? Does he feel, look, I'll just show the levels in that ring on fight night?
I can't speak for him. I don't know his mindset, as in I don't know what's going on in his head, but from what I'm seeing and what I'm listening to and knowing my brother the way I know him, he's very confident, and it's nothing he hasn't seen before, nothing he hasn't done before. I keep seeing, like, again, it's back to social media and the people saying it. I've got a clue what they're talking about anyway, but everyone's entitled to an opinion. But I'm seeing people like, oh yeah, Buatsi's got the better resume, and I'm thinking like, have you seen who Callum's been in the ring with? You know, amateur and pro. It's like it's fucking ridiculous. But again, you're entitled to your opinion, not a problem. You know, I read the boxing news yesterday, the preview. I don't normally read. I just clicked on it. And it's got the power lies with Buatsi, and thinking, scroll down, think who wrote this? And I see who's wrote it. It's like a young kid, and no disrespect to him, but he's like, Callum Smith needs to spin off at angles. I'm like, when have you ever fucking seen Callum Smith spin off at angles? Like, have you even watched it? You know, but people who aren't as educated on boxing as they should be have given opinions on a fight on how they think it's going to be, and that's their opinion, that's fine. But I strongly disagree with most of them. Callum's looking good. He's done the weight great. He's feeling good. He's had a good camp. There's been no injuries in this camp, and everything's been fine with him. So I'm really happy and confident.
Well, look, I know you can't look into the future, but I suppose we can sort of hypothetically talk about what could come from this fight for the pair of them, Buatsi and Callum. You know, you look at that main event and go, it chucks them, you know, in the mix for some absolute mega fights. We're hearing David Benavidez has been invited to this fight for watch the main event. Obviously, he's in line, may get trilogies, but the winner of this sort of really is bang in line to get one of them mega fights. And you know, for Callum to sit at that top table again, that must be sort of the driving force to have this fight with Buatsi.
It is. It's the only driving force for him. He says it all the time. I'm not bragging about him and not bragging for him, but he doesn't need the money. It's not the money he's fighting for, and a lot of fighters do have to fight for money and fight for finances and to secure the future, and that's totally understandable. But he doesn't, because he's done well. So I'm saying that as a positive, as in he's fighting for one purpose only, and to become a two-weight world champion. He's not fighting, I can't say no to the money, or because the money's too good, or because I need that money to pay my mortgage off or pay my bills. He's fighting because he wants to be a two-weight world champion. So the only way you're going to do that is obviously by beating the other top light heavyweights around you, and the winner of this fight will become WBO interim champion, obviously, or Buatsi if because he's already got it. And then once the belts after this fight, undisputed champions don't stay undisputed for long. They're still the undisputed champion in most people's eyes. I still think Usyk the undisputed champion of the world. Daniel Dubois won a title that was technically vacated. And beating Joshua was a good enough win, in my opinion. It was a very good enough win in most people's opinion. But the way the rules of boxing work, he's now a full heavyweight champion of the world, but he hasn't beat Usyk, who gave the belt up. But that's how boxing works. There's been so many cases of that. He's still a genuine world champion, no problem with that. And I think that's what might happen here with these belts at light heavyweight. I think whoever's in charge of the interim titles at the moment, or who's going to be getting them, will become full champions. So this fight is a perfect logical step for Callum to do that.
Last one on Callum before I ask you about something else. Does it make you more of a dangerous fighter, the fact when in the sport you've ticked your accomplishments off that you set as a little kid, world champion, financially secure my family to a degree where we can maybe get passive income and live a normal life, a good life after boxing? Does it make him more of a dangerous fighter, the fact that he's fighting now just to sort of add to that legacy of what he's already created? Because the pressure's off in terms of it's not for money anymore, it's not for anything else other than ticking boxes to make my resume, make my career look better than it already is.
Yeah, in a way, but there's no pressure on him in it. But I know what Callum thinks, I know how he is and how he thinks. It's not Callum against Boatti or it's Callum against himself. It's him wanting to become a two-weight world champion, and he knows if he gets it right on the day, he'll beat Boatti and he'll beat whoever's in front of him, because on his day he can beat anyone. That's how he is and that's how he works. But I'm seeing interviews on Sky on Twitter last night. Sky, Anthony Yard standing there, the big domestic showdown we're all waiting for. When did Anthony Yard get ranked above Callum Smith? When did Boatti get ranked above Callum Smith? I'm seeing a lot of people, Boatti's the favourite. No problem with that. But if Callum's on his day, Callum turns up and Callum is in the right frame of mind, and Callum absolutely wipes them all out. Yard, all of them in the light heavy division in this country, for me, he's always been the number one domestic light heavyweight from the minute he stepped up to light heavyweight. But again, that's me being your typical biased brother, typical this, but we'll see when the fights happen. Yeah. But I'm seeing Yard and Boatti talking about the future fight. He's got to get past Callum first, so we'll see if that happens firstly. But Callum is proven and tried and tested. Callum's been world champion. Callum's been the number one. There's a Ring magazine on his mantelpiece in the house, a belt. You know what I mean? Not the magazine, the belt. The belt's on his mantelpiece in the house. He's earned it. He's done it the hard way. And British Commonwealth European champion coming through. That's still things that are their boxes yet to be ticked by the other people that I mentioned.
Sort of sidestepping away from this fight, it's been a mad week. I mean, just being a member of the media, you're hearing stuff that's going on. We had the Floyd Schofield drama. What a great play from Josh Padley, though. I think he's ranked number 12. He gets an opportunity to test his weight against pound for pound, I think top 10 in the world, Shakur Stevenson. The Daniel Dubois thing yesterday, how strange is it you had two fighters fall ill on a big fight week and Martin Bakole stepping in? Now, I'm hearing from Ben Shalom, and you don't know what's right or wrong, but possibly 60%, because obviously he's not been, his fight was supposed to be with the Jaguar and further away. But what a replacement at short notice. What do you make of Parker Bakole and how that's come about with Dubois' illness?
Yeah, it's a shame with Dubois. We were in the Mike Tyson gym the other day with Zizzo, and I saw Dubois. He was in the back ring working out, and I didn't want to look too much, because even though it's nothing to me, and I'm nothing to him and he's nothing to me, I'm not in Parker's team, you know what I mean? I've nothing to do with Parker. I say hello to Parker and shake his hand. I've seen Dubois around a few times. I don't speak to him really, don't socialise. I don't know him, he doesn't know me. But you still don't want to stand there looking and gazing over as if you're spying, because it's just people are like, and you wouldn't want someone like Dubois asking you who you're looking at, would you? So
be an interesting combo.
What I was looking at, seeing the little workout that coming in my eye, it just looked like a normal session. No one was really making any signs about being sort of sick or unwell. He's always got that face on, a bit like I have. If he's just got one of them faces where he looks like he's moody and snarling anyway. But obviously couldn't tell there was any sickness. But with the sickness now, we've got Bakole, who in my opinion is probably if he's on it again, if he's fit, could be a tougher fight. But I keep hearing this 60% or fitness thing. He's a heavyweight, he spars all the time, he's always in the gym. Yeah. He's very, very talented, but looking at it from Joseph Parker's perspective, if you're ever going to beat Bakole, it's got to be now, when he's had literally less than 2 days notice, or less than 3 days notice. Both of them fit to be a good fight, and both of them really fit to be one. Maybe I'd probably side with Bakole. Now it's a good 50-50 fight because of the lack of preparation. But again, money talks. You get the phone call, you can come and save the show's an opportunity to fight there on a couple of days notice, and you're in training anyway. You're going to get mega bucks, you're going to get a comeback fight in the contract probably, and you're still going to be able to go and carry on with what you're doing, and he's very confident that he'll beat him.
Definitely. Look, this main event, I watched the first fight. I believed from what I'd seen, Bivol had won the fight. Close fight, I'm sure there was a lot of swing rounds in there for a lot of people, and depending on how you score it. This rematch, how do you see it playing out? I heard Frank Warren say it's going to be round 13 and it'll continue from the last one. Break it down for me.
People staring at you, sorry, making you laugh. It's one of the comedians behind you.
There's only one comedian.
An Al Foran. Lee and an Al Foran, tell you what. Ringers. I scored the last fight for Bivol. I picked Beterbiev before. I thought Beterbiev would do enough. But I felt Bivol won it on the night, and I felt he could feel a little bit hard done by. This one, I think I'm going to go with Bivol again. I think he can up his game. I think he looked a fresher fighter. He had better footwork, better volume of shots, which I think will come into play again in this fight. Not volume, sorry, better efficiency with his shots, which I think will come into play. It's not all about the volume, obviously. And the stats at the end were quite interesting when you saw how little he threw compared to Beterbiev, but how many actually landed. And that's boxing. And I saw I don't know if it was a meme or a quote or something with a photo of Bivol on his dad, and said like, I wanted him to create beautiful boxing, not breaking your nose and bloody noses and all that, like brilliant boxing. And it makes a lot of sense in how he fights. I really like how he fights. I love how Beterbiev fights, to be fair, but I think Bivol.
Very last one. Are we still winning this league?
Yeah, I'm confident.
You're still confident, aren't you? After be like, I was like, oh God, please, let's.
The reason why I'm confident is I can't see us capitulating. I'm not saying we're not going to. I just can't see it at the moment. I think with Slaughter, with the players around there, the desire's there, the determination's there. There's players there that know how to challenge for the league and win a league. I think with Arsenal, I just don't know whether Arteta's got it in him and the amount of injuries. I think if it was City and Arsenal's place, I'd be worried. Yeah. But City have been awful this year to their standards, but they've been phenomenal every other year, and I'm glad it's not them chasing. And the reason why we're possibly, hopefully, should be winning the league is probably because of a lack of how good City's been, as well as we've been really good. But I'm still confident.
Big game on Sunday. Paul Smith, appreciate your time. We'll catch up after Callum's fight.
Thank you.